You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Daredevil is born again on Disney Plus.
My name is Matthew Murdoch. I'm a lawyer.
Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you?
A really good one.
Critics everywhere agree it's the best Marvel television series. Gritty, intense, and elevated. It's Daredevil at his best.
If you step out of line, I will be there.
Marvel Television's Daredevil, Born Again, now streaming only on Disney Plus.
Now's a good time to remember where tequila's story truly began. In 1795, Cuervo invented tequila.
Cuervo.
What are you doing here?
Cuervo. Anytime someone says Cuervo, I show up.
Well, I do know that to be true, but even during ad reads, like...
Cuervo.
I think you could lay out, especially for one of our great partners.
Sweet, delicious Cuervo.
Since then, Cuervo has stayed true to its roots. The same family, the same land, the same passion.
Cuervo.
So, enjoy the tequila that started it all. Cuervo.
Cuervo.
The tequila that invented tequila. Proximo. Cuervo.com. Please drink responsibly.
Cuervo.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Last night, basketball got off to a fun start. Greg Cody inexplicably swaggered in here today on behalf of North Carolina, that poor downtrodden sad sack franchise that needs the defense because it is such a great underdog. Greg Cody stormed in here today and said, even though he didn't know who San Diego State was, North Carolina vindicated after West Virginia's governor came after them.
Right. They were maligned. They're not that bad. They're better than West Virginia. And everybody was acting like West Virginia was wronged. Oh, my God.
That wasn't the game last night. That wasn't the game to be talking about last night.
Okay, it wasn't, because the Alabama State game, the St. Francis Alabama State game, was more exciting. However, I do want to just linger on this for a second because it's the fastest that any one of our takes has ever aged well. Like, we yesterday were like, oh my God, governor of West Virginia, get over yourself. Like, we're splitting hairs, blah, blah, blah. This is why North Carolina should be in. This is why they are in, blah, blah, blah. Like 5 hours later, North Carolina just blows out San Diego State. All of the takes that we had yesterday aged very well. And I would like to pat ourselves on the back for it.
That never happens.
If North Carolina lost, Jim, it might be a little tricky today. It might be a little tricky. We might be walking some things back. But they left no doubt. They won. We can all move on now.
Worthy.
Hopefully.
Chris, do you have a stat of the day related to this?
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day.
So you did.
Start
You
of
had
the
one
day.
immediately ready. I was
Start of
surprised
the
by that.
day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start
Stunning
of the day,
how good you've
start
gotten
of
at
the
this
day.
job that
It
quickly.
is the start of the day.
Give 'em
Stat of the day is presented by Miller Lite. You will never believe who sent me this stat. Against San Diego State last night, by the way, San Diego State, the team that led the nation in field goal percentage defense, North Carolina became the first team in NCAA history to score 95 or more points, to shoot 50% or better from the field, to shoot 50% or better from three, to shoot 85% or better from the line, all in one game. North Carolina did this last night.
Also, West Virginia, was complaining so much about this. They didn't even realize their head coach was leaving for another school. Darian DeVries got hired by Indiana yesterday. So really rough. Exactly why I said if you're a player on this team, you're like, all right, pump the brakes, hang on a second. Because now there's more important things going on, and everyone's been distracted by this stupid tournament
I
stuff.
think the governor of West Virginia needs to sign an executive order to prevent that coach from leaving his university. It's an outrage. It's a crime.
Was it this guy that gave you that stat?
Yeah, that was him.
Thank you, Taylor.
Back to the Alabama State game. So, Dan, I don't know if you caught this, but the game ended on a Hail Mary pass. It was so cool. Alabama State The player, I think his name's Micah Simpson, he was a middle school quarterback, launches the ball across the court, gets deflected off of a couple Alabama State players. One of them gets it, puts in the layup. They win the game. It was absolutely electric. It was such a fun, final 4 minutes of that game. And again, March Madness delivers.
Are you guys ready for what we're about to gorge on this weekend and in coming weekends? Because this has even gotten Tony's attention. Like Tony can sit out. Tony can be a little too cool for school on some of our conversations. Like he's not interested in some of the hockey stuff. Pretends, but is faking it poorly. But college basketball, March Madness, has grabbed him by the throat, and it starts. Basically, the thing about this that's so great is just, hey, look, sports. Everywhere, morning, afternoon, and night, and there'll be a lot of bad games in there. And God Almighty, everyone's going to shoot 36%. You've been spoiled by the pros. Trust me when I tell you, some of this is going to be very hard to watch.
The funny thing is about March Madness, the individual games of college basketball, most of the time, kind of suck.
Give me the last 5 minutes.
But when you put them all together, 64 of them happening within a 2-day window, all of a sudden it becomes magical. Alabama State, who nobody could even tell me what their mascot is, all of a sudden...
The Hornets.
Okay, outside of somebody who watched the game. They throw a pass, gets bobbled 8 times, all of a sudden the layup goes up, everybody's an Alabama State fan. Nothing is better, nothing produces more amazing moments with such bad basketball than March Madness. It's incredible. I love it.
It is. It just really is just your
white guys.
You're opening up.
Well, you really didn't watch the Alabama State game.
No. But historically,
you're gonna say opposite. You're gonna say opposite. White guys.
You know, white guys bring the magic.
Thank you. Backdoor cut. Princeton.
That's a secret sauce to March Madness. It's the white guys with the ill-fitting uniforms against the teams with the good
elbow
uniforms.
jumper
And
brick.
Not as many white guys. That's finally someone had the balls to say it. It's the white guys.
The best zone defense you've ever seen.
2-3.
So well coached.
Backdoor cuts. Put it on the poll.
Shooter!
They're all shooters, but they never make it.
Put it on the poll at Lebitard Show. Is the secret sauce to March Madness white guys?
It's a loose ball. Get it.
Admit it. Admit it. Deep down in your heart, you know. All the great moments. All of them.
Not
all of them. All the memorable upsets.
That's not true.
All the great shots. Somewhere there.
No.
Somewhere framing the moment.
Not true.
Is a white guy.
Now, there can be an accent. This is not an absolute. The whole thing.
You're fixated on Mello? I'm at McNamara.
I will say one of my favorite things about March Madness is there's always a main character every year. There's always the one guy who gets, last year, I can't remember his name.
The dude from NC State?
No, not him.
That guy was a main character.
He was a main character for sure, and that was a great run. But no, I think he played for Grand Canyon. I honestly can't even remember. But he ended up getting a Wingstop deal, and he was the main character for 2 weeks, and it was wonderful.
Jack Golke.
As soon as this
he was incredible. The guy didn't miss. The guy didn't miss.
As soon as the tournament ends, you're like, I can't remember his name.
That guy
got 2 weeks. He
didn't miss for 2 weeks. It was incredible.
Sports.
Yeah, I'm not as into March Madness anymore. It's become apparent to me, once I had a team that was actually good, making runs on both ends, on the men's and women's. And I could say this to the pros too. I generally don't. I'm not a basketball fan, I found out. I'm just a Heat Hurricanes fan. And without rooting interest there, and I haven't even filled out a bracket. No, we have NASCAR in town. We have the Miami Open in town. There's plenty of niche sports that I follow more closely that are going on. In 20 minutes, there's going to be tennis from Hard Rock Stadium that I'm going to be dialed into. So I think my interests have just changed. But I'm in on the white guys.
Okay, but for the casuals...
Thanks for letting us know that you don't watch March Madness.
Love the white guys. It's a really hard sport to follow, and I follow a lot of sports, and I think in following all these other sports... And with my teams not being good, it's just hard to follow college basketball. Not that you ever need to.
We got it. We got it. You are now all about racing. You're about tennis. You're out on basketball.
No, I'm in on race as well.
But on basketball, you seem professional and college. You're out. Got it. You're in the minority here because this is just a smorgasbord of avalanche of action is what it is. It's stakes. It's throwing into a washing machine and turning it on the maximum speed. Just here's sports. And there are going to be a lot of bad games, but they're playing odds on this. They're going to draw you in the last few minutes. And I don't remember that Gretzky guy's name either, but he was kind of bald. All he did was make jumpers and then signed an NIL deal. No, you know who I'm talking about.
The male pattern
They
baldness?
just said his name, and Dan
Golke.
and I
Forgot it.
still don't remember.
Forgot
He had
it.
more of a Billy Donovan V.
Yeah.
It wasn't balding.
Like a Norman Osborn.
He had something. What he had, whether it's Sam Rockwell or someone else, what he had is hair that made me think he couldn't do that during March Madness.
I want to be
Oh,
very
he played
clear.
for Oakland. Yeah,
He's
that
got the
was
Billy
him.
Donovan, right?
Yeah, I want to be very clear. This is comic book Norman Osborn, not Willem Dafoe Norman Osborn, for the record.
There are some sports things that I wanted to get to today, and one of them is Minnesota's out on Aaron Rodgers. So that's the report, right? And
I foretold
it's a
it.
credible report?
We have credible reporters with different sides to this. So earlier this morning, there was a Tom Pelissero report that said the Vikings are moving forward with J.J. McCarthy. And for the moment, that's bad news for Aaron Rodgers. Seemingly, this delay is because he quite fancies the Vikings, and that's his top destination. However, in the moments that followed, Diana Rossini recently reported that it's not over yet for Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota. However, the Vikings are prepared to go into this spring and evaluate J.J. McCarthy, his health, how far he's come along before making a decision on Aaron Rodgers. They're essentially tabling the Aaron Rodgers discussion. So now the ball is back in Aaron Rodgers' court. Do you retire? Do you go to your plan B? Do you go to your plan C? Because as of right now, there doesn't seem to be a path in the immediate future for Aaron Rodgers in Minnesota. They want to see him in spring mini camps and then evaluate.
Great poker chip to play in business negotiations if you're the Vikings. Hey, wait it out. Maybe Justin Jefferson will be there for you. Psych, we don't want you. You're retired now. Giants don't want you either. What a move that would be at the end for the Vikings to do that to Aaron Rodgers and end his career, because if the Giants is my only choice, I'm retiring. If the Steelers are a legitimate choice, I'm going to try. But the Vikings is where I want to be.
It's humbling, though, because the place that you want to be the most is telling you, like, we're not quite there yet. Like, there has to be a certain scenario in which we'd be interested, but right now, in a vacuum, we're not. So you can go. You're free to go ahead and make another decision. Like the Vikings internally decided, like, we're gonna run the risk of Aaron Rodgers doing whatever it is that he wants. We're gonna move forward and see if this kid is healthy enough.
We are so close to the complete Brett Favre villain arc for Aaron Rodgers. We need a couple more things. We need him to play for the Vikings. We need him to get to the playoffs.
D-pick.
Obviously, that's a big missing one. We're still missing that one. And also scamming welfare state.
Dude, no, there's another one that we're missing. He needs to retire and then unretire.
But maybe this is it.
Yeah. This is
maybe
part
this
of
is
that
it.
story arc, and then Vikings.
Yeah, he needs to ruin a woman's career. Also, I was wondering, like, hey, what's up with Jack Golke? I, forgot his name and also that he existed. Maybe I can find out and see what he's up to.
Yeah.
There's a story catching up with Oakland's Jack Golke. Apparently, he plays for the Wisconsin Herd of the G League, getting a few minutes off the bench, averaging 3 points a game.
Attaboy.
Our guys.
Attaboy.
Still out
Still
there
getting
playing
that three off.
basketball. March.
There'll be another one.
There'll be
a
multiple
few.
of them.
They're gonna spring out all over the place. Also in football, Adam Schefter is reporting that it's done now. Cam Ward is the number one pick.
So his most recent podcast said all the momentum is going to Cam Ward. Cam Ward is essentially going to be the number one pick. Wow. It's just a matter of where he goes to. But Cam Ward's going to have his pro day here. But the consensus is among NFL front offices is Cam Ward is going to be the number one pick in the NFL draft. Congratulations for quarterback killer Mario Cristobal. I guess that's really cool to have a number one overall pick be a Miami Hurricane. That's been a long time. But yeah, Cam's going to be number one. But the team has not yet been decided. And the Titans, who have leverage here, no doubt, if they wanted Cam Ward, this would be done and dusted. If you look at the betting odds, Cam Ward going number one is a heavy, heavy favorite. But Cam Ward to the Titans, not so much. So now there's an interesting game because Cleveland's in the number 2 spot. That's a dangerous game of chicken, and they badly need a quarterback, and Tennessee is not totally thrilled with the quarterback class.
And the Giants also are rumored to be toying with the idea of moving up to number 1 and drafting Cam Ward. which obviously would affect the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. That's why I said yesterday Aaron Rodgers is holding people hostage. He needs to make a decision because you'd rather have Cam Ward than Aaron Rodgers, right? Just like you'd rather have J.J. McCarthy, your number one draft pick, than a 40-some-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Is there anything more tepid that he could have said in terms of flimsy sourcing than the phrase rumored to be toying with? Like in terms of rumored to be toying with, I don't know.
With the idea. Rumored to be toying with the idea.
That's right. Rumored to be toying with the idea. It's just, you could say that about almost anything.
Well, but it's a fact. I mean, there have been reports that the Giants want to trade up to number one. Do I know that for a fact? No. So I'm quoting reports.
Okay.
How are you so bad at your own bit?
So please stop being mean to your father. Cam Ward is going number one, according to Adam Schefter, no matter who wants number one in a weak draft and a weak quarterback draft, when the thing that everyone in the sport wants now, right? The most valuable thing that you could possibly get in the draft is Jaden Daniels. Value immediately at quarterback. Value and production immediately at quarterback allows you, correct me if I have this wrong in the architecture of the game, it allows you to speed past everyone else if you can immediately somehow hit on the unicorn, but less of a unicorn than it used to be, of guy averages 10 yards a play in college, the way that Daniels did, and he immediately translates to the pros. That's what you're trying to get as the standard when you go all in on Cam Ward, correct? What you're trying to do is, oh, wow, look, one move. The Commanders passed the Cowboys after 20 years of not being able to pass them. Pass them like that.
Yeah, and you're also counting on Cam Ward to elevate others. You understand you don't have a Justin Jefferson in Tennessee or with the Giants, but you expect Cam Ward to be so good that he's going to make receivers a different level.
I mean, Greg, respectfully, Malik Neighbors is an incredible wide receiver.
Fair
and if
comment.
him and Cam Ward are paired together, like NFC East has a really good 1-2 down the board.
You can't forget you can't forget Neighbors there. Like Neighbors
Neighbors is incredible.
Well, but
he's good.
No, not good. I think we can now make the argument after one dreadful season with the Giants, could we not, that Neighbors enters the class of that's as good as there is in the entire sport. Not. You don't think that's right?
I wouldn't put him as good as a Justin Jefferson.
I'm talking about that's the only class he has not yet reached based on the production level with no quarterback play and not a lot of help after Saquon in New York. Like, I think no one disputes what I'm saying here, that Neighbors has entered the class of top 3 receivers in the league. Jamar Chase is in there too.
Right. Greg, if I give you the stats, 109, 109 receptions, 1,200 yards, and 7 touchdowns as a rookie. Where do you put that as far as best rookie years ever?
With no offensive line.
Yeah,
or quarterback.
and with no quarterback. He's great, and I was remiss in not mentioning him, and I'm glad you did.
We really pounded you there. We really we leapt on you.
But Chris, stop being mean to Greg. Chris.
We were unfair to you there. Well, but he was factually inaccurate.
No, I was. I forgot Malik Neighbors in making that comment.
All right, I know I got to do this ad read, but hold on. Let me reapply. Did you hear that? Yep, that's my new favorite lip gloss from NYX Cosmetics. Now I'm ready to talk to you. I've been a huge fan of NYX Cosmetics for many years now. In fact, I use their Thick It, Stick It brow gel every single day. So you can imagine my excitement when we recently received a special delivery to the Batard studios from our friends over at NYX Cosmetics. And there it was. When I opened the box, glowing, I heard the angels sing, "Ah." It's their latest lip gloss fat oil lip drip. It's NYX Cosmetics' first lip oil of its kind. This creamy lip oil will have your lips dripping with fat perks. You get all the shine of a lip gloss and none of the stickiness while experiencing 12-hour hydration. I'm usually a matte lip gloss kind of gal. My normal go-to is NYX Cosmetics lip gloss, the Lingerie XXL. But after applying the status update shade, I have found my new go-to lip gloss. Fat Oil Lip Drip has high shine finish with comfortable wear and none of the sticky texture. A lip product that's hydrating, non-sticky, and only $9? Now that's a win. Try Fat Oil Lip Drip from NYX Professional Makeup. Available in 14 universally flattering shades. Find your perfect Fat Oil Lip Drip. Shop now at NYXCosmetics.com or a retailer near you.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan, and how great is this weather? We're getting out of the coldest part of winter into the early on-stage spring. I know down south, the weather is perfect. It is perfect Miller time weather. You got MLB, MLS, you got NHL, you got all the sports going on, plenty of excuses to gather around a TV and have yourself a wonderful Miller time, thanks to Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. Now is a perfect time for friends, family, and a great tasting light beer. With taste that you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. I hate gimmicks. Just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers because it has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and that iconic golden color. At just 96 calories and 3.2 grams per 12 ounces, Miller time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Mattel, Heinz, or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making and selling, and for shoppers, buying. Simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. No one does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Heinz uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Batard to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Batard.
Don Le Batard.
I want to address Tony and all men who would wear that shirt in public.
Stugotz.
Don't do it.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The thing that I wanted to get to with you guys that we have not gotten to, because I know Lucy was obsessed with this as it related to Ben Affleck, perhaps at 50 years old, going back to previous loves again. But we are now dropping multiple power couples, and I did not know that there were 2 new power couples that have entered the room on discussion for pop culture purposes.
One in athletics, one in Hollywood. One super young, one longer in the tooth. Wow. Which one do you want to hear first?
I want longer in the tooth first.
Meryl Streep and Martin Short.
That's yesterday's news.
I know, but I wasn't
here. But you been watching
yesterday.
Only Murders or not?
Yeah, I mean they were really hot and heavy in
blossoming
season
there.
4.
I think
3?
Everyone's
Season
rooting
3.
for that.
Season 3.
Everyone's rooting for that to last. Also, you look at the general timelines, and like if it doesn't last, like where do they go from here?
Whoa!
I mean, you know where they go from here.
Whoa!
It's just I don't mean to be glib, but in athletics, there's another hot new couple, and this might be one of the best-looking, most athletically fit couples ever. Ben Shelton from the ATP and Trinity Rodman.
Oh, wow.
Superstar soccer player.
I like it.
I mean, they must have kids just for this country. They must. Patriotic. They must. It's their patriotic right to have children.
Olympic babies.
Olympic babies, world-class athlete babies. They come out with abs. No doubt. They come out with 8 abs.
Speaking of hot, how is this for a transition as a broadcasting professional? How about this guy right here, Christopher Bell? A great nickname, indisputably great nickname, right? The Iceman. He might be tired of telling the story of why and how he is the Iceman, but I'd like to talk to him because he's with Joe Gibbs Racing. He came into Las Vegas this past weekend. I don't know if this is a record hot streak or just a hot streak, but he's won 3 consecutive NASCAR Cup Series victories this season, and he's currently second in the Cup Series standings. He's looking to win the second time here, Homestead Miami Speedway this Sunday. It's a festival. Greg, you go almost every year. We've been there. This is the best thing Homestead does, is it not?
Yeah, obviously I preferred it when it was the season-ending race, the Super Bowl of NASCAR parochially. But yeah, it's a major race. They only have 30 of them or something.
But I'm not talking about major race in Homestead. This and Hurricane Andrew are the things that Homestead is associated with.
Robert is here too.
Well, one of those is better than the other, and you'll be happy to know that the reason why this is landing in March is because they're going to renovate Homestead, and the expectation is that the championship will once again be here. That's why they're putting it in March, so they can be ready for the championship.
It's a giant event. Mike, please go get your gearhead. And thank you, Iceman, for joining us. Does anyone in the family refer to you as Iceman? Please take me through the history of Iceman, because you are reputed to be more aggressive than the other drivers.
Well, I'll be honest, that's the first time I've heard of that. So I don't know where that came from.
What? So it is not. So I'm giving you a nickname that doesn't actually exist, that I'm just producing for you, that is not actually your nickname.
Maybe you have just started something. We'll see if it takes off.
Okay, well, I hope so, because you deserve the nickname. I want to give it to you right now.
Just keep referring to him as Iceman no matter what.
Why did you make up a nickname?
I might as well. It's right here. It says it right here.
Oh,
it's the first thing on my sheet, the Iceman.
Do people call you Ben Solak by chance? Because I could also see that nickname.
I have literally never heard that before in my life. So
it's wonderful.
He's good on football.
Thank you for being on with us, Iceman. You are, however, more aggressive than the other drivers. Explain to me how and why.
Oh, man. How and why? I want to win. That's why. I don't know how. I guess I just do it. I don't know. It's been a hell of a ride, though. It's been a lot of fun to be able to start the season off so strong. To win 3 out of the first however many races it's been has been, been great, and I'm excited about getting to Miami. Miami is a great racetrack. You guys broke news to me again by saying Homestead's getting renovated. I think that's awesome, and I'm excited about the future of that place.
Christopher, can we put you down for a second to see if we can get this audio fixed? Because
he's from his race car right now. That's actually where he's coming from.
Inside a helmet.
I must admit, I saw a research packet on you, and I saw the Iceman, Christopher the Iceman Bell, and I'm like, man, I'm a NASCAR fan. I'd never heard that before. I guess I'm not that much of a fan. But apparently the Iceman, this is the first time he's heard it too. So do you not like NASCAR as much either? Are you surprised to find this out?
You guys got me? Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it sounds a bit distorted.
Echoey.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do here. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of Iceman, but I'll take it. I'll claim it.
Can you try taking your helmet off?
Sure. Where's my helmet at?
Chris, thank you so much for having fun with this. There was something that, again, I watch every race. I love NASCAR now, and there was something that I hadn't seen ever before, but that's not saying much because I've only been recently passionately following this sport for about a year and a half. But it seemed like you and your crew exposed a loophole in the rules in Las Vegas. I'd never seen this before. You're on pit road. It's decided that you have a left loose front tire, and then you run the risk if you go out onto the track, you're penalized 2 laps. 2 of your crew members get suspended. Your team makes the call very quickly to have you pit in your teammate's box. I didn't even know that you could do that. Did you even know that this was a legal loophole?
So I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago. I remember Adam, my crew chief, he told me that, hey, if you ever have an issue, stop in your teammate's box and they'll hit all the lug nuts to make sure that the lug nuts are tight. And so that was the first time in a couple of years that it has come up. And I think it's relatively new since the introduction of Next Gen, because the old cars, you had 5 lug nuts. And the odds of a wheel coming off were really, really low if you have 5 lug nuts. But with now only having 1, obviously, if you have a problem on the 1 lug nut, the wheel's going to come off. And yeah, it certainly saved us from damaging our car. Like if a wheel comes off and you start and you have to drive back to pit road, it just destroys the underbody of the car and really hurts the car performance. So it really saved us this weekend at Las Vegas.
When we talked to the college basketball coach, Rick Barnes, he wanted to talk about racing instead of basketball. If I give you the choice going into a conversation like this, would you prefer to talk about your profession or would you prefer to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I'm a Thunder fan. I followed them through the offseason pretty good, but since I started racing, I haven't been able to really keep up with them. But I know they're doing really well. They're leading their conference, and fingers crossed. I would love to get to go to an NBA Finals game. In order to be as great as you are at this, do you have to be lopsided? How much time do you even have for things other than the obsessive compulsive work you have to do? Yeah, I mean, it's just such a long season. And certainly with us racing at a different track every single weekend, it doesn't leave much time to follow other things. But, you kind of get into a routine and a rhythm whenever you get into the summer where it opens it up a little bit. But certainly whenever, you're just getting the season started, I at least myself, I'm focused on, week to week and going to the new tracks. So, I haven't been following the Thunder very closely, but come June or May or June, I'm going to be following them really close if they keep advancing. Will you ask for good seats? Absolutely. Hopefully I get to be front row, courtside. Okay. And so you're not bashful about that? You make that call yourself or? I mean, I might have someone else make it, but you got people to do that for you. You've got people handling that for you. What is the worst part of the life? The worst part of the life of what?
Yeah, that was weird.
The racing life. Yeah. The life, the lifestyle, the travel, the moving around. Like I know you guys love what you do, but what do you regard as the part that that is hardest about what you do? Man, that's a good question. I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever been asked that, but I appreciate it. And I will say that I have the coolest job in the world. It is, I mean, how awesome is it that I get to drive race cars for a living? But on the flip side, it is still a job. And those days where you have races that go really smooth, and I won 3 in a row. But then last weekend I still finished 12th, so it wasn't the end of the world. But it's like everything you do is wrong, and you can't pick the right lane on restarts, and it feels like you're just bashing your head against the wall. So, it's competitive. It's professional sports, and some days you win, some days you lose. But those losses are extremely hard at times. They can be, and the pressure's on, man. So everyone wants to be a professional athlete, but I don't think some people don't put into perspective the pressure that we're under.
It would appear that, I mean, all racers love racing, but you really love racing because I'm a Kyle Larson fan. He dismissed Max Verstappen once by saying, do it in the Chili Bowl, and I had no idea what the Chili Bowl was. And then I ordered Flow Racing, and I watched my first Chili Bowl, and it's dirt road racing. It's like basically souped up golf carts, guys going in a very small circle round and round, and you were in the middle of it too. And you're a really good driver. Why the Chili Bowl? Like, can you even explain the Chili Bowl to the layperson? Yeah. So the cool thing about the Chili Bowl is it's number one, you named it. It's dirt track racing, and dirt track racing, the car is constantly in a state of drift, and you're sliding around the corners, and the driver matters a lot more on dirt tracks than it does on asphalt tracks. So NASCAR, which is America's top form of motorsports, the car matters a lot. And if you're a really good driver and you're in a slow car, like, you're not going to win. You're not going to be successful. But on dirt track racing, a really good driver can take a slower car and make it win races. So that's one thing that I love about dirt track racing is that the driver matters a little bit more. When you say casually the pressure we're under, can you articulate it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to articulate it more than there's, just millions of fans watching, millions of dollars being spent, and millions of time and hours and effort put into your race car. And it's all dependent on me doing my job and making sure that I hit my marks. And on top of hitting my marks and being fast, like not screwing up, like never spinning out, not coming down pit road, not running into people, not running into the pit crew members, stopping in the right spot on the pit box. Like, there's just a ton of things that
everybody is pouring, their heart and soul and money and resources into me to make sure that I do my job. And that can be said for everybody, all the drivers out there.
It can be, but I don't think necessarily that people know what the price is of dreams, right? So when you talk about these pressures or how exhausted you are after a race, can you sleep or are you adrenaline through the roof? What level of tired and drained are you to be at the end of that?
Yeah, well, it kind of goes both ways. Like if I really screw it up and I do a bad job, I won't sleep at all. Now, if I win, I won't sleep at all because I'm high on adrenaline and I'm pumped up. But it's the days that I do my job and I get the most out of my car and I finish third, fourth, whatever. Like then I can sleep okay. But definitely you win the race, you're pumped up, you're celebrating, you got buddies over. You're staying up those nights, and then the days that you really screw up, you're not sleeping because you're like, gosh, man, why did I do that?
NASCAR is known for its rivalries, driver rivalries. Who's a guy on the circuit that you don't particularly like? Or should I put it, who's the driver you would most like to beat by one car length at the flag?
You're really getting in there.
Oh, man, that's easy. That's Larson all day. So me and him have a very similar upbringing, similar background. We both are dirt track racers, and we push each other to the edge of control all the time. And I think he would say the same thing, that he loves beating me and I love beating him.
Iceman, it's been nice seeing you. Thank you for coming on and lending us a racing credibility that clearly we would not have without you, and we now have even less because we've dubbed you the Iceman when you're not the Iceman. Thank you for being so icy, sir.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate the nickname, too.
Okay, I appreciate you being so kind about it because it could have been a lot worse and it still feels pretty bad. Thank you.
See you guys.
And also the submarine sound.
The nice man.
And also this question from Dan.
What is the worst part of the life? Not my best effort.
Wait, play the whole thing. Play the
silence.
whole clip.
We did not edit this silence.
What is the worst part of the life?
The worst part of the life of what?
That was great.
The nice man.
The nice man.
Yeah, he was. Thank God he was nice. Okay, because that could have gone so poorly.
I never got his Jalen Milroe takes though. I would have loved to hear about combine quarterback takes for Ben Solak.
I can't tell you how frail I feel right now.
Well, you'll have a shot at redemption with Ryan Blaney later this week.
What is the worst part of the life?
You must ask Ryan Blaney the same exact question.
Yes.
I'll just play the clip.
And also make up a nickname for him as well.
All right, let's do that.
We'll call me Iceman.
Let's do both of these things. I'm going to make up a different. Let's make sure to start the next one the same way. Where I don't know, should I go Iceman or should I make up another?
You got to make something else
the
up.
wind turbine choices.
Maverick, what's the worst part of the life?
Oh my God! Now keep in mind, I'm gonna let people see fully behind the curtain on this. We were supposed to end that segment with a game I don't understand, which was Vroom or Vroom Vroom.
Yeah, it was a well-constructed game.
But I bailed on it because I didn't trust my prep that began with his nickname's the Iceman.
I was helping you with the Chili Bowl question. That was pretty revelatory.
One vroom would have just been meh, and two vrooms is like, oh, I'm in on that. Vroom, vroom.
Can we just play it now?
I'd like to play that game.
You play it with my dad.
All right, let's do this with your father here.
All right, Greg. Vroom or vroom vroom? You have 12 items in your cart, but the 10 or less.
Why are you? What did I do?
Where are you coming after? Like,
What did
you're
I
making
do?
noises back here.
I'm not
behind
making
me.
noises.
There's 10 item or less is wide open. You have 12 items.
I need to regroup.
Vroom or vroom vroom?
Well, that doesn't apply. What am I going, meh? Or you're darn right. Like, what does that mean? I hate people who go into an express lane with one item too many.
So that's vroom. You're vroom on that.
I'm the guy who counts the items of the person in front of me.
You're vroom on that.
Okay, I'm vroom.
I'm glad we didn't get to this.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Greg, so you're very religious on the fact that 10 means 10.
Yeah, I do.
You never sneak
I do.
an extra one in there, 11?
I always count my items.
Small one?
I'm always wanting to get in there because I'm always in that, like, I'm always around 8 to 12 items. The way I shop. So I'm always like, oh, man, I'm counting. I'm like, if I have 11, I'm just going and assuming that if they count, they'll miscount.
Gents, you know what I've done? I've started doing the self-checkout lane. I don't have to wait. I'm
Not
in
for
and
me.
out.
Not for me.
I do that occasionally.
I take out the little gun and I scan it right in my thing. Boom, 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 boom.
I love that gun.
If you have produce, though, it
So
it takes a
annoying.
little
unless
bit
you're
longer
at Sprouts,
time, yeah.
you can scan
love
everything at
Sprouts,
Plus, I don't
I
like
like Sprouts too.
Sprouts is the best.
Underrated.
I don't
I
like
went
how,
there yesterday.
What are your thoughts on Milam's?
Milam's?
Is it Milam's?
Yeah, Milam's, yeah.
Milam's. What are your thoughts on Milam's?
I'm a Sprouts guy.
I don't like how they demand you to put it in the bag at the self-check. It's like, put the next item. It's like, no, I'm just going to like put it right
Can
here.
I scan all my stuff? Yeah.
It's like almost like you can't scan the next item. You have not put it in the bag yet. It's like, stop. I'll put it where I want to put it. All right. I scanned it. That's all you're worried about here. Don't worry about if I put it in the bag or not.
By the way, I do have a grace period on the express lane. If it's 10 or less items and you have 11, maybe 12, I'm going to let that go. But if it's more than 13, the play is when the other person's leaving but still within earshot, I say to the cashier, I guess that guy couldn't count, huh?
I have a top 5 receding hairlines.
I like this. Let's do it.
But it's not any receding hairline, okay? I'm not going like straight back like Walton Goggins, which I like how Hardy leans in. I'm going your V-shaped receding hairline.
Oh, yeah, the Dracula look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5, Orlando Magic point guard Scott Skiles.
Wow, Scotty.
Number 4, this one's kind of sneaky because he's blonde and it doesn't stick out as much, but Daniel Craig. Number 3, newlywed, Justin Theroux. Number 2, Billy Donovan.
Classic.
And number 1, comic book Norman Osborn.
What is the worst part of the life?
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.